Level 1. The Horned Lie. Forget the horned helmets and the Hollywood giants. Those are lies. Right now, you are looking directly into the weather-worn, scarred face of a real 9th century Norse raider. His teeth are filed. His hair is bleached with harsh lye, and his eyes carry the cold steel of the north. This is what a Viking actually looked like, based on the latest archaeological reconstructions. I am Ragnar Lothbrok. This is the face that stared down the walls of Paris. Do you see the movie star here? Or do you see a farmer, driven by desperate hunger, looking for fertile land? In this frozen land, survival was a daily battle, and my path was carved not by glory, but by necessity. Level 2. Bone and Saga. How do we rebuild a face that has been dust for 1,000 years? It is a science of bone and saga. We begin in the dark graves of Scandinavia, where ancient skulls are carefully scanned. The structure of the brow, the jawline, and the depth of the eye sockets tell us the shape of the muscles that once moved. But bones only tell half the story. We must read the sagas, the ancient tales written in parchment. They describe the hair, the scars, and the unique features of our legends. By combining modern forensic technology with historical texts, the digital scan becomes a living, breathing person. This is how we bring the shadows of the past back into the light. Level 3. Ragnar the Visionary. Look closely at the reconstruction of Ragnar Lothbrok. His face is not clean. It is weathered by the salty winds of the North Sea. He has a thick, braided beard, and a deep scar over his left eye, a memory of his first raid in Northumbria. But the most striking feature is his eyes. They are not the eyes of a mad butcher, but of a strategist. Ragnar was a leader who looked beyond the horizon. He understood that gold was temporary, but land was eternal. He led his people out of the rocky fjords, because Sweden could no longer feed them. This is the face of a man who changed the map of Europe with a simple iron axe. Level 4. The Shield Maiden. Now, meet the Shield Maiden Lagertha. In Hollywood, she is a flawless warrior with perfect makeup. But the archaeology of female Norse skeletons tells a different story. Lagertha's face is rugged, sunburnt, and marked by the harsh reality of shield wall combat. She has a strong, muscular jaw, and a faded scar on her left cheek, where a Swedish spear once grazed her. Her blonde hair is braided tightly, not for fashion, but to keep it out of her eyes during battle. She was a mother, a leader, and a survivor who stood shoulder to shoulder with the men in the bloodiest shield walls. This is the real face of a Norse warrior queen. Level 5. Shields Clash. I am Lagertha. You see my face, and you see the price of freedom. When the king of Sweden invaded and turned our women into property, I did not hide. I bound my chest, picked up my round shield, and led the maiden warriors into the front line. The sound of clashing iron, the smell of sweat and blood. This was my world. Many of my sisters fell on the cold grass, but we broke their wall. My shield was splintered. My sword was heavy with blood, but we took our vengeance. I did not fight to be a legend. I fought so my daughters could walk without fear in the fjords. Do not call me a myth. I was real. Level 6. The Mind Behind the Terror. Next, we look into the eyes of the most feared Viking of all, Ivar the Boneless. His name struck terror into the hearts of Saxon kings. In our reconstruction, Ivar's face is thin, pale, and sharp as a razor. He was born with a physical deformity, his legs unable to carry his weight. In a society that valued physical strength above all, Ivar should have been left in the woods to die. But his mind was his weapon. What he lacked in bone, he made up for in pure, cold intellect. His eyes show no warmth, only a restless, calculating intelligence. He did not need to swing an axe to conquer kingdoms. Level 7, the Heathen Army. I am Ivar. My brothers carried me on a shield into battle, because my legs were useless, but my mind was giant. When the Saxon king Ella threw my father Ragnar into a pit of vipers, they thought they had destroyed us. They were wrong. I gathered the great heathen army, a tide of thousands of Norse warriors, and crossed the sea. I did not fight with muscle. I fought with strategy. I lured their armies into traps. I burned their churches, and I carved the blood eagle into Ella's back. They called me a monster, but I was simply the brain that conquered England. From a wooden chair. Level 8, diet and health. Let us look past the legends to the daily reality of Viking life. Reconstructed skeletons show that the average height was only 170 centimeters. Their teeth were worn flat from eating stone dust in their flour, and many suffered from painful arthritis due to the damp, cold climate. In their graves, we find evidence of severe parasites, including worms that plagued their stomachs. To keep their hair clean and free of lice, they bleached it using a harsh alkaline soap made of lye, which turned their hair blonde, but left it dry and damaged. Their lives were short, dirty, and filled with quiet pain. Level 9, the final breath. For a Viking, the final face you show the world is the most important. Death was not the end, but a journey to Valhalla. When a great chieftain died, his body was dressed in his finest clothes and placed inside a wooden longship. The ship was loaded with his weapons, his gold, and even his slaughtered horses and dogs, to serve him in the afterlife. Sometimes, a slave girl was sacrificed to accompany her master. The ship was set on fire, sailing into the dark waters, or buried under a massive mound of earth. The smoke rose into the cold sky, carrying their spirits to the Hall of Odin. Level 10, Echoes of the North. The age of the Vikings ended 1,000 years ago, but their faces have not truly disappeared. The ships have rotted, the iron axes have rusted in the soil, and the stone runestones are fading in the wind. But their legacy is not written in stone. It is written in blood. Modern genetic studies show that Viking DNA still flows in the veins of millions of people today. Across Britain, Europe, and the Americas, the next time you look in the mirror, at a pair of cold blue eyes, or a strong jaw, you might be looking at the face of a raider who crossed the seas. They are not gone. They are in us.